Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto. Hope you're having a great day. So there are a few things I want to speak about today. Most having to deal with, very future outlooks, right? We've got more swirl around Ripple. This time it's not about FedNow, it's about the digital dollar project. Apparently they are involved. They joined the council. They're going to help with the current sandbox program. And the project is all about researching technologies that could be leveraged to create a CBDC. Interesting. Cool. You know what I mean? Still cool. Just not something I'm really interested in. That's not why I'm invested in Ripple. Also, I want to see if, you know, there's more to come from it because it's a council, right? It's a project, has nothing to do with the government. That's why I'm not really interested in it. Now, California has a bill sitting on Governor Newsom's desk that would require crypto companies to get licensed to operate in the state. If it sounds like it's a New York thing, it's because it's kind of like New York. New York, you have to do the same thing. People are thinking that it would, just stop innovation in California. I don't think so. California has the most crypto businesses in the United States. I think the last count was 325 or something like that. And those are just ones that are known, right? I think that they're trying to create guardrails by which everybody can be safer and that, California citizens, regular citizens would be protected against, you know, um, financial instability, I would say, right? Understood. Cool with that. I guess we would have to see how everything gets implemented, how stringent the licensing is, all that good stuff. What kind of businesses have to be listed, So I'm very interested to see how the implementation of the law comes to be. I don't think they're going to be as stringent as New York. That's what I don't think. And if all goes according to plan, sort of like the California Consumer Privacy Act, that act was leveraged by other states to create their own versions of that act. I think this would most likely, if it goes away, I think it's going to go. I think same thing would happen with this one, where it would be used as a template in other states. Interesting. We'll see how that plays out. Leads into Web3 tech. Taiwan has a newly formed Ministry of digital assets, right? And what that does is they're focused on creating rules and regulations around, security, telecommunications, communications, basically all things digital, which is why they're leveraging Web3 tech to do that. Now, what I took from that is that there's a lot of opportunity in the Web3 space, and you can't ignore it anymore. Right? You're at a point where it's almost like Web 2. When the internet first came out, oh, who needs a website? Then it was like everybody needed a website. Then you had Web 2.0, that whole interaction, e-commerce thing that came out. Oh, why do you need that? Hello, Amazon, eBay, all the other big players that are there. That's why. When I look at Web3, it's the same thing. You have augmented reality, virtual reality, extended reality, mixed reality. You have all of these technologies that are converging in that space. And that's not all. That's not all that's going on in Web3. My company, again, is a principal member in the Metaverse Standards Forum, which would also be a part of that whole Web3 space. Where we talk about the standards for interoperability between the various environments in the metaverse. Great, great, great project. Crazy talented and smart people involved. And we're all just getting started. So when I tell you that Web3 is a big deal, it's not from a perspective of I don't know. It's from a perspective of my company being directly involved and working with other very large organizations. Don't believe me? Go do the research. Metaverse Standards Forum. And you can see my company listed there, Rebel Visions Corporation, alongside with Microsoft and Nvidia and a whole slew, Tencent, whole slew of other companies and other people doing some really cool stuff. That said, there's crazy opportunity there to do a whole bunch of things like marketing and things like that. I had a conversation with somebody. She owns a marketing firm, and she was trying to understand a little bit more about the metaverse so she can formulate an idea about how she'd be able to service her customers in that space. So I tried to help her out, give her some information. She dropped an article on LinkedIn, and I saw the article and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's everything that I taught her or shared with her. It's pretty cool. But it also told me that, again, businesses cannot afford to ignore Web3. So my business is now helping businesses create or extend their brand into the Web3 space. Drop a note. I might be able to help you out. My team might be able to help you out. But that is a burgeoning space. Taiwan creating a newly formed division and them leveraging that space to achieve certain goals from a regulatory perspective, that ought to give you an idea about how big that is. And it's getting bigger. Something else that I'm paying attention to today that's I think is going to affect the future, both near and long term, is OpenSea weighed in on what they will be supporting following Ethereum's merge. And it will just be Ethereum after the merge, meaning the proof of stake version. That whole ETHPoW thing, just like Chainlink, OpenSea said, nah, we're not doing that. I find that to be very cool. Now, ETHPoW will still most likely happen. They'll most likely still do the hard fork, but there are far less big players that are going to support it. There have been certain crypto exchanges that said, oh yeah, we'll support it. Why? Seriously, why? If you're a miner and you still want to mine, you can go to Ethereum Classic. There are other places where you can still mine and leverage your equipment, all that good stuff. But to create a new hard fork based off of Ethereum, there's Ethereum Classic. But if you're smart, you stick with Ethereum. Just saying. Now, another piece of news that I saw was LG choosing Hedera Hashgraph to create a wallet. My friend Nicholas and I were having a conversation today about that technology because he's deep into HBAR, right? That's Hedera. And he's like, oh, I'm going to go buy some more Hedera today because even with that news, it went down. There's nothing surprising about the news, frankly. There's only one piece that's surprising. Hedera Hashgraph is on the council for Hedera, right? So that's not, surprising that they would choose Hedera. So it's going to be a neutral press release versus an impacting press release. What would have been surprising is had they chosen Matic to do it or some other project to do it. So you can kind of see that coming. What's interesting is, what do they need the wallet for? So Nicholas and I were joking around about, what they could use the wallet for. And I said, well, imagine you go out and you buy an LG, whatever it is, an LG device. And with that LG device, there are features that are turned off. All the features are there, sort of like Microsoft Windows. All the features are there, but you needed a different license to unlock certain features. Now imagine if you were creating a wallet to help track the features that are tied to an account that can be leveraged on a particular device. Keeping track of all your devices. That would be interesting. Be very interesting. So I want to see where that goes. So it's not the technology that they chose. It's what they're doing with the wallet that I'm interested in. And just like with all things that I tell my kids, listen, news almost never comes in ones. There's almost always something to come along. So the first one is, hey, we're going to use, HBAR to do our wallet. Yeah, okay. Then it'll be, this is why we're creating a wallet. Then it'll be, hey, we created the wallet. Right? That's what's going to happen. So now, I want to see that play out. I really do want to see that play out. Do your research on HBAR. It's great technology, but it's not meant for the normal person. It's not meant for me and you to do that stuff. It's meant for businesses like LG. That's what kind of makes it different. So I'm very interested in seeing how that plays out. Now, overall, The economy, short term, I agree with Federal Governor Mester saying, listen, I really do think that inflation is going to be painful in the near term. But in the midterm, I think end of the year, beginning of next year, I think we'll start to see light flicker and things will get better. Longer term, I think what we're going to wind up seeing is major opportunity, major growth. That's what I'm seeing. The trigger for me is going to be when the Fed decides we're going to pause. We're going to let more data come in and see what we have to do next. But right now we're comfortable to pause. When that pause happens, that's when all the markets are going to just go nuts. That's when I expect everything to fire off. And that probably won't happen until later this year, early next year. See what I'm saying? Because I told you before, I'm thinking it's most likely going to be a 75 basis point hit next go around, this month, right? Could be one. I'm thinking it's going to wind up being 75. But then I think it'll be followed by a 50 or a 75. So where the chances are 175, I think the next one would be 75, 50. And I think following the next two, you would see a pause. It's then that I think it could happen. So if you think quarterly, well, you're thinking, October, November, December, right? And then January, February, March. So that's what I'm looking for in terms of when things could really happen. But until the Fed pauses, I think we're going to continue to see volatility. I really do. So, we can, see when things are going to go up, when things are going to go down. Pay attention to what's moving more so than others, right? So when things went up, Ethereum shot way up. So the last time, right now, Bitcoin is at 19 and change. The last time it was at 19 and change. Ethereum was at 1,000 and change, even just hovering around that 1,000 mark, a little below, a little above. But where is it now in comparison? It's at 15. So that's a 1/3 pop that it's still enjoying. In a matter of weeks, 1/3 pop, it's still enjoying. It's not dropping. And then there's an event that'll happen in at maximum 2 weeks. It could happen sooner. So you're going to have that, and the Vassal hard fork could happen before that. So you have two nice pieces of news that are going to happen. And I think when Cardano does its hard fork, performs its hard fork, it has to reach 75% in terms of positive vote, being implemented. I think you're going to see a lot more projects pop up on Cardano, like quick. I think it'll start happening like this. And I think that's when it's going to start to separate itself from, Solana and other layer ones. Now, when you look at Ethereum's merge, it's already got all that. And whoever's staking, you're stuck for the next 6 to 12 months until the next, upgrade comes, which is, dubbed Shanghai. So that to me is going to be a big deal, because that means that there's going to be Ethereum not on the table, not out in the general public. That's going to give it another chance for another pop. That's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm looking forward to. So pay attention, do your research, look to see what's coming up, what's going on. Select your news places. I heard a talking head, sort of like me, a YouTuber, say, I don't listen to anybody else. I don't care what anybody else says. And I was like, I don't know. I don't necessarily take another person's research, but if somebody drops a pearl that says, hey, they're talking about a given subject, I might be triggered to go do some research on that subject. So when my friend Nicholas and I speak, he drops some knowledge or something like that. We share knowledge between each other. And it might trigger me to go do some research. It might trigger him to go do some research. Trigger my kids to go do some research. But to honestly not listen to other people, that's, you do you. That's cool. You do you. But please do your own research. Get it from different sources. Corroborate. Try to do it as thoroughly as possible. Remember, I'm sharing my journey with you, me and my kids' journey with you. So what we come across is, oh, we found some news. We add that to our research. Then we come back and we compare it with other people, other notes, and we're, that wasn't the right news. We do more research, do more digging, come up with, oh, people got it wrong. It's not that project, it's this project. Obviously, I'm referencing Ripple. So it wasn't FedNow, it was a digital dollar project. Cool, okay. Still cool stuff. There are a lot of things that are going on that you could be paying attention to that could lead to money in the future. I'm not here to build wealth for myself. I'm here to build generational wealth. Something I can pass down to generations following behind me. It's not just the knowledge of how I'm doing things, but it's actually the results. What I'm preparing now, I might not live to enjoy, but my kids' kids might be able to. Those are the kinds of moves that I'm trying to make right now. Anyway, let's take a quick look at the numbers because I find everything to be a little bit interesting, right? So let me bump one over there and let's do a quick refresh on these numbers. There you go. And you can see who's up, who's down. Mostly, things are moving sideways. And I think, like I said, things are going to move sideways. They'll be volatile, but it's going to be until we get that pause. Looking at, what's going on over here, I'm just saying, well, I don't pay attention to Terra Classic. I'm definitely not paying attention to Celsius, Terra Luna at all, right? Why would you even think about getting involved? I'm just saying, why would you even? Are there any others that that come up to me? Ethereum name service, pay attention to that. Pay attention to that. That's a part of the Web3 space. It's going to be a big deal. Don't know why people are still talking about Litecoin, but it's still around. Probably will be around for a while. So you could pay attention to that. Pocket Network is always bouncing up and down. Chances there. Polygon. But again, anything under 5% and under is not really motion to me, right? It's really not. But that's what you have. In terms of losers, you go all the way down to here. Flow is down 7%. Kava and Flow had good news. Flow has good news. Flow is being chosen. Who is it? Because they're going to power their NFTs. Ticketmaster. That's right. Somebody was talking about that yesterday. It's Ticketmaster that chose Flow to do their ticketing, and they're going to change the game on that. Helium's been down a bit, so 12%. That's kind of a big deal. That's a big mover. Anyway, let's go over to other stuff. Fear and greed index, you're down at 20 extreme, back into extreme fear. That's 20 point, 21 point, 22 point drop from where we were last week. Looking at, where everything is, just looking at, my bars. If you look at this green bar, that green section, that's my inner band. Then I have the blue section, that's my outer band. We're not near my outer band, but we are trying to touch the lower part of my inner band, and that doesn't make me happy. That does not make me happy. I'm not concerned, but I might look at, Bitcoin being an opportunity to buy if it passes through the lower part of, the lower part of my inner band. That would be interesting to me. There you go. So looking at ETH, again, it's down. It's at 1560 though, and Bitcoin is at 19.8. Having a hard time getting back about 20,000. So you have some movers here, that are doing things. Let's get to the list because I want to see what Matic is doing. Matic is at 85 cents. And in this volatility, are you paying attention? And in this volatility, it's bouncing, in spots. It's at 86 cents now. That's interesting. That's very interesting. So hopefully you're doing well. Shiba Inu is down 1207. That's not a good spot for me. It's an all right spot, but it's not a good spot. So I pay attention to these things to see, are there, new places where I can get in? That's for Shiba Inu, that's a low number to get into. So that's why I'm paying attention to that. I'm looking at Doge. So looking at Doge, I'm kind of like, wow. So what would have been the numbers today? I'm actually just looking for the graph. Let's get the overview. There you go. So when I look at that, where was it at this low? It's at 6 cents. So like I said yesterday, it's trying to maintain that 6 cent mark, which I like because it was at 8 cents just a little while ago. So that's that would be a 1/3 bump if you've bought at that price and it's gone up. So I'm paying attention to that because it has opportunity to move up. Doge is being used, and I think it's going to be used more and more as we go forward. Anyway, this is Eddie J on crypto. I hope you have a great day. If you like what I'm doing and the journey that I'm sharing with you, do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and definitely hit the notification bell so you know when I'm dropping a new video. Have a great day. Bye-bye.